Now, my concern is tulijifundisha lesson from Olkalau by election. Ni kwamba tunaweza kula pesa, lakini wakati kifika election tunapiga mali inastahili. Siji katika hiyo budget spending factor in the so-called sitting allowance, listening allowance, iko namna gani? Ama what is your interpretation towards the issue of sitting allowance? Kwa maana tulisikia juzi you find the MP ya kwamba spending more than around 2 million. How is it? How are you factoring in the sitting allowance? Na tungeomba kwamba kama through the so-called by-election of Olkalau, hiyo kitu iachilia so that we can eat money. Poverty iko Kenya mingi sana.
Hata rafiki yangu Omusundi, serial petitioner. We want Kenyans like him to come out and say as it is. The issues he's petitioning is very important. It's very important. Why would somebody want to stay on a seat for 20, 30 years? Yeah, which the highest time we start thinking and discussing amongst ourselves, is it necessary for somebody to stay as an MP for 20, 30 years? Eh? Oh, and I recall president. Asante sana. This is what public participation is all about. Yeah, you must say it. You must say, and this makes us. This is the difference between Kenya and other areas. In Kenya, you speak your mind and you walk away. Whether somebody listens to you or not is none of your business.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much for those clarifications. Now, I want to close these sessions. This last session, we want to close it by taking a few more. I can see several hands up, and we have a gentleman already with a mic. So, proceed.
Thank you. My name is Douglas Wawire. I work with the National Gender and Equality Commission, Nakuru Regional Office. I have 2 comments to make. One of them is on the spending limit. I appreciate what was presented, but I noticed that the spending limit does not recognize the realities of the special interest groups. And who are the special interest groups? These are women, the elderly, persons with disability, the youth. So I'll zero down and just give maybe 2 examples, especially on PWDs and women. Candidates with disability may incur additional costs such as sign language interpretation, braille materials, personal assistance, accessible transport, and assistive devices. Now, while I'm at that point, look at today's meeting. These are public participation, but we do not have any sign language interpreter with us, which begs the question, were we deliberate when we were mobilizing to ensure that the PWDs are able to be in this meeting and also to follow the proceedings of what is happening today? It means that we are not deliberate. So there's a group that we are leaving behind even as we move on. And we must have that eye even as we talk on issues of expenditure in election. Then secondly, women candidates may also spend more in terms of security. Because if you look at issues of political gender-based violence, women are more affected compared to men. So how I would have wished that when we are looking at this capping, we will take a gender angle just to see what if it is a female candidate as opposed to a male candidate. And then lastly, I would also wish that we had maybe a mandatory disclosure on expenditure that will benefit on the issues of inclusion. And that will include issues of accessibility measures, voter education targeting marginalized groups. Thank you.
First and foremost, I want to introduce myself. Nilikuwa nimefanya introduction. I'm Laban Musundi, a serial petitioner in the Republic of Kenya. Basically, Commissioner amesema nimempeleka kotini, but I need to clarify. I just went to court for constitutional clarification. Ni kwamba kuna watu ambao wana serve 20 years, we need them to limit them. Kila mtu aserve two terms. A maximum of 2 terms enda kiti ingine. That is the matter before the court. Number 2, the case number 2 ni ile ya kwamba simple majority. Mtu akishinda na around 10,000 votes anakuwa declared. And each and every aspirant anaposimama kwa kiti afikishe 50+1 ndakuwa declared the winner. So those are matters that will affect 2027 general election if the prayers will be allowed.
My name is Joel Atuti, Chief. For me, it's on security. I want us in this public participation to make suggestions that life and property that is destroyed, we come out with at least suggestions setting aside funds so that those people whose property is destroyed, they be compensated. So that, because you find that those people have loans which they borrowed from institutions and they want to pay back. So kindly factor in at least a small finance to compensate those people whose property has been destroyed. Number 2, you will also come out with good measures so that a political party or a candidate that has sponsored youths to cause chaos to take responsibility in also compensating property and life of persons that have been lost during those violences. Otherwise, we support you to operationalize the Finance Act 2026. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Rebecca Maritina from Interreligious Council of Kenya. I have my questions, and just to avoid speaking many words, I decided to write them down. My first question is, the IEBC core values, one of the few of the core values include integrity, independence, impartiality, transparency, and accountability. Now, my question is, can Kenyans be confident that these values are upheld at all times? Or are there circumstances where they become compromised? Many people believe that everyone has a price. How would you respond to those who wonder whether the IEBC itself could ever be influenced by money, politics, or other interests? Finally, what assurance can you give Kenyans that the Commission will remain independent and deliver election results that are honest, credible, transparent, and truly reflect the will of the people? Thank you.
And also start, that's okay.
Very well. I will start with the last question. Is the Commission going to stand up to its values of honesty, transparency, impartiality, and all those good things you have mentioned? Indeed, the Commission will. And the Commission has proved it. Since we came to office, we have conducted 32 by-elections. 32. And we have conducted those elections successfully. The question of whether the political environment is good or not, or was toxic, is not for IEBC. The political bad manners that you see all over is not an IEBC creation. It is the Kenyans themselves. But from where we sit, we have umpired over very difficult processes at times. You remember in Kasipul, we had loss of lives. In Olkalau, we think lost lives. But the IEBC's role was to conduct a free and fair election. And our processes can be audited. They were 100% perfect. There were, I think, one or two petitions after those elections. IEBC carried the day in both of them. Our success rate is 99.99%. That we guarantee you. The much hyped election of Olkalau, where everybody said there is no way government was going to lose. Government lost it. It was umpired by IEBC. It was umpired by IEBC. At personal level, we are commissioners of high value. We are commissioners of high integrity. I have been a provincial commissioner in this province. And I know what a bungled election can cost the country. I was here. Everything unfolded before my eyes here. We want that bad history completely kept out of our mind. We want to look forward, and IEBC is going to guarantee you a free and fair election. We will. We have done it. And in all the 32 elections, by-elections, it was successful. Because our elections are biometric. They are technology-based. Unakuja, tunakuangalia na vidole. Ukishindwa kidole yako kama umefanya kazi nyingi, tunakupiga picha. Tunapiga picha ya kitambulisho yako. Na tukipiga picha ya kitambulisho yako, your details will immediately pop up into our machines. In all the 32 by-elections, we have not used manual registers even in one of them. None. So our biometric system worked perfectly well, 100%. Nobody was failed to be identified by other means. It's a biometric system. Have faith in us. This is our country. If I bungle this election at this age, my age, where do I intend to live? Where? Nowhere. This is where I will be, and this is where I will be. How many of you have 10 grandchildren here? 10. Anybody with 10 grandchildren here? None. I have 18. So do you think that in your head, you can imagine, I am going to forsake the life of those 18 grandchildren and bungle an election in this country? It won't happen. Have faith in us. Go and run for an elective post to see it. Thank you so much.
So I'll answer the concerns and questions raised. Some were comments, so we've taken note, and some recommendations, but for the ones that require response, I'll answer. Then what I may not answer or what I may have left out, if director has something to add, he will add. So Ngek, thank you for your comments. You've spoken to the spending limits, whether we've taken into account the realities of SIGs. I think that's a concern that has been highlighted before also. When we requested for memoranda for the public, it's an issue that has been highlighted, what you have just pointed to, that there are certain costs that SIGs may incur that no other category may incur. So that is noted, and it's something we are very alive to. Maybe I would also say, as a point of departure, that the first thing where we feel at least SIGs generally are protected is the sense that there is no floor. I think that's one thing, that there is no minimum amount you're required to spend, maybe outside the nomination fees, which luckily for those, there's a special consideration for SIGs. So I think that's the first good thing, that there is no floor. This is just the upper limit. So even that PWD or youth or woman, whoever that SIG is, the fact that there is no floor means, like we have seen, you can just use a bicycle and, or you can just walk, or so I think that's one thing. But what you've raised is very valid in the sense that they might incur extra costs that other candidates might not incur. Maybe I'd also invite you to read section 18 of the Act, which I think in part speaks to your concern. It's on spending limits. And there is a provision under 6 that says, where a candidate, party, or referendum committee exceeds the spending limit due to unforeseeable or extraneous circumstances, the candidate, party, or referendum committee shall file a report to the Commission specifying the reasons for exceeding the limit with such time as the Commission may prescribe, and the Commission shall determine if such spending was justifiable. So I think that sort of addresses it in terms of we have to be alive to the concerns of SIGs and see whether these extra costs that they're incurring are justifiable expenses. And also maybe moving forward, we can see how more concrete we can have systems in place to ensure that SIGs are protected just as much as any other category. Then you spoke to sign language interpreters and even inclusive. I think that is a very welcome comment, that we need to be inclusive of even having a sign language interpreter. And I believe it's something that we are really considering progressively. If you've seen or attended recent commission functions, I think all, if not all, almost all, have sign language interpreters. And even here, I agree that that is something that we should consider, because we also want opinions of all those SIJs. So it's just that this was also under very tight time constraint and all things like that, but it's something we are very alive to, and it's something that we are taking very seriously in the commission. Then for women candidates, I think we've addressed, because you're saying security, same way maybe some would inquire sign language interpreter costs. Then I think those were all your concerns, largely. Yeah. Then Mr. Murugu, thank you for your comments as well. Many were comments. Thank you for supporting the framework and appreciating the work that has gone into developing the documents. For independent candidates, again, we know that independent candidates are in some way also special interest, if we are to call them that, in the sense of they might not have the access as much as political party candidates might have. But I think what the Act and regulations attempts to do is to have a standard way of addressing them all. So I know there are definitely challenges that independent candidates encounter, but again, just as I responded to SIGs, I think the fact that there is no floor is a very good thing, so that you are not limited to a certain amount which you must spend. Maybe the concerns people would also have is if they have the capability or capacity to have expenditure committees, we are alive to that, but at least in terms of the costing, there is no floor, so they can try to make it as simple as possible, so long as they are compliant with the Act and regulations. You gave a comment on developing county-based DCF regulations. Maybe moving forward, that is a conversation we can have and see what do you feel maybe is not addressed, because I think we have also attempted to tailor it. If it's to Nakuru, like the population is this, the land area is this, trying to be alive to the different factors that are in different electoral areas. But then again, if you think there are issues which are county specific that need to be addressed, those are always things you can highlight for the Commission's consideration. The concern on campaign expenditure period, I believe we have addressed it in part, that it's also tied to the campaign and the electoral period, which is what the Commission gazettes. But also there is room, it's the Commission that determines when the campaign period begins. So ideally, when this Act was being developed, it was also in line with the provisions of the Elections Act so that they speak the same language as to regulation and the enforcement capacity of the Commission. You asked for clarification on audit. It's not external because it's not public funds that are being used, so it's not the OAG auditing. But if it is above 5 million, the Commission requires audit to be undertaken. So it's more internal by a qualified auditor. But then the Commission can intervene and ask questions and, yeah. Then disclosure, yes, there's a bit of disclosure with the register kept. I hope I've addressed the questions. I think some of them were comments which we have taken note of for improvement and consideration. Mr. Laban, thank you for your comments as well. You've identified yourself as a serial petitioner, so we've interacted with your matters a couple of times. Yeah, even on SIGs, you've done something on party lists, so yeah, we take note of those. You've asked about seating allowance. Someone also asked about mobilization. Maybe what I would invite you to check is the 11 items and see if they fit in there. If also you feel like there are certain things that we've not considered that are critical, we are still open to taking comments, probably in the course of this week, and see if there are things that are left out that also need to be considered, or if they are not to be considered, like we can deliberate on them. Then the concern raised by the last gentleman, sorry, I didn't get your name. I don't know how to respond to that because I don't think those fall within the mandate of the Commission. About compensation, you're asking about compensation of property that are destroyed during campaigns and elections. But maybe I would just also say, as I highlighted, the elections does not mean all the other laws stop being operational. Like if offenses are still committed, matters could be instituted before the court. Criminal matters, someone could be prosecuted. If someone wants to pursue something in a civil way, if the court finds compensation is necessary, and even the other institutions that the Commissioner said that it is not just an IEBC affair. All different institutions have their mandate. So if it's something that falls within the offense, it can be prosecuted. But as regard to the Commission, we might not have so much to do regarding compensation on destruction of property. Then I believe the last comment Commissioner addressed, because they were mainly comments, the concerns from the lady, whether Kenyans can have confidence in the Commission in upholding its core values, and if the Commission is independent or could be influenced by money. Those ones Commissioner has addressed. So I think I have addressed all of them, unless Director.
Thank you. I think the other issue is how do you judge and see whether IEBC has done its work perfectly well? IEBC's responsibilities is as follows. Register voters, keep the register public for everybody to scrutinize and see, audit the register, prepare Kenyans for election, train manpower, because we will be training tens of thousands, nearly 500,000 people will be involved in the election, in the general election. 500,000 Kenyans will be engaged in the general election through IEBC process. Security plus presiding officers and the many clerks. We arrange that. Train them, post them, take them to their venues, make sure they are safe, and everything goes on smoothly. And then conduct the election. Make sure the ballot papers are in place. Make sure they are not mixed up. We have how many? 1,450 wards in this country. And not even one ballot paper is mixed in the process of production and transportation. All these are IEBC processes. After we finish, we conduct the election. In the 32 by-elections we have done, we have not had any mistake done by an IEBC officer in the course of duty as they conducted the election, which means our system is foolproof. We conduct the election and we announce the results at the polling stations. Election begins and ends at the polling station. Anything beyond the polling station, election imeisha. The other places like returning officers just tally the numbers from the polling stations. So they have no other business. All those processes, we have succeeded in them 99.9%. When we announce the election, that's when our business ends. Kazi yetu imeisha. In the course of the campaigns, if a politician makes mistakes on the platform, kwa jukwaa, na aanze kusumbua watu, we have the Code of Conduct Committee that fines them. You have heard somebody here appealing against that fine. So Murugu was appealing on behalf of his MP against that fine. So that is our responsibility. That is the simple process of how elections are conducted and the responsibility of IEBC. We are totally independent. We can't be influenced by anybody. You remember in the last general election, did you remember the high-level National Security Agency group going to talk to the chairman of IEBC? Did you hear that? Did you hear in the last general election? The top leadership of this country in the security echelons went to the IEBC commissioners to go and change the result. Have you heard of that allegation? Did you hear? Why are you keeping quiet? Did it happen? Did you hear NSAC members, National Security Advisory Committee, went to see the chairman IEBC in Bomas to change the result? Did you hear? Did he change the result? No. What makes you believe this commission is less than that? It will not happen. We will respect the will of Kenyans. We will respect your decisions. Please go and register and go and vote. We guarantee you that your decision will be respected at the IEBC. Thank you very much.
Brought on board different agencies. So we should be able now to be very patriotic, to participate. If you want to participate in the election, the office is here. You know, now the good thing is that the office of the IEBC and the county commissioners, we are neighbors. So if you feel that you need any clarification, we work with so many partners. We work with the office of the ORPP, we work with the NSIC, we work with the NGOs who are within. And also within the county, we have all the DCs. We normally meet every month to discuss issues of security. So, sir, on behalf of the county commissioner, we wish to assure you and wish to wish you all the best as you undertake. I know it is not an easy task, but we'll be behind you because we know as well that you are independent, but we'll be able now to support. Because if Kenya fails, if IEBC fails, Kenya will fail. We don't have a spare country. So also, I have my senior with me. I would wish to give him an opportunity also to make some few remarks. Before he comes, we have some Ngao also who have joined us, like I had alluded. The Ngaos who are in the house, please stand. So, sir, we have Huduma Center Manager, Nakuru, Michael Omondi. Then we have Senior ACC for Municipality, Nakuru East, Madam Veronica Musioka. Then we have Sharon Chepkuon, who is the ACC in Baruti, Nakuru West. Thank you, sir. So, please.
Thank you so much, Bwana Opio, the Deputy County Commissioner, Nakuru East. Our guest, Mr. Hassan Nur, Chairman IEBC, the Commissioner IEBC, and the staff from the headquarters, my fellow participants. Good afternoon. My name is Rashid Kwanya. I'm the DCC Nakuru West, and I take this opportunity to thank IEBC for convening this session together with Transparency International. I believe the concerns of residents of Nakuru have been captured, and they will form the final draft on regulation on this act. So, as my colleague said, that because we work within the security cycle, we are assuring the Commission that we are going to do our best to ensure that we have a very fair, credible election, which is supported by the security agencies in all aspects, from the pre-election, that is campaign period, during the voting, and post-election. We shall ensure that it's well secured, this count will be well secured, and we're looking forward to see that. Thank you so much. Asante.
Fika mwisho wa kikao hiki, lakini kwa wale ambao wamekuja tunawashukuru sana, tunawapongeza kwa juhudi zenu ya kupata nafasi kuja kuzungumza mambo haya ya campaign financing. Please, as you go back, eleza injili kwa wengine ambao hawajapata nafasi kuja hapa. You don't realize, but you are making history. You are part of the process of making a legal, the Campaign Election Financing Act. You have participated in this, and it's a very great honor to all of you. Tunataka kuwatakia kila laheri. Sisi kama IEBC, juhudi yetu ni kuhakikisha ya kwamba tumeimarisha hali ya IEBC ili muweze kupata uchaguzi wa uhuru na haki. That is what we sleep, that's what we eat, that's what we live for in IEBC. We have no other business to make sure that our elections are credible and they are good and they are supported by all the Kenyans. Kwa hayo machache, it's my greatest honor to thank all of you for coming up, Transparency International, plus all the participants. You have said yours, sio? Asanteni sana na Mungu awabariki. Thank you.